I think when you come to rural New South Wales, you can't compare anything, the way you practice medicine, to anything really that you do in Britain. How you approach people will be probably the same, but their life experiences will be very different if they're living on stations which are actually half the size of Scotland. You have to understand that distance and family networking is very different to anything in Britain, depending on what community you're in. You know, I recall being phoned by a farmer's wife who had a dog in distress, and they had a box of drugs, and I was giving her advice on what drugs to give to the dog. And I think there's lots of stories like that where you're actually having to expand your medicine into veterinary science or other applications in the country when you have to deal with these things. Yes. There'll still be lots of phrases and ways of life and views on life that will be quite surprising to you, but if you embrace these changes, then that's really good. Lots of people, if they're working on the land, will be very attached to that land in their life, and their sense of humour will be attached to their land. And I think if you do have a sense of humour, they will relate to that. There's all the cliched sense of humour as Australian blokes have, and you will find that. But I think, you know, if you come from another country and you tap into that, you know, it's good fun, and again, that opens other doors to you, which is good when you're trying to connect with people and working with them.
Want to go get it. Yes, makes me want.
When you're working in rural communities, then people's judgment on what they think is serious, it can be very altered as well. So it might be that when people have quite a nasty laceration or infection out on a station, they will deal with that themselves, you know, and they'll just put some sort of dressing or adhesive strip on it so that, you know, they'll end up with a big scar, or they may even lose a part of a finger and they'll deal with that themselves because they don't see that as really as an emergency. So when people do come complaining, you usually need to take that quite serious, because that will be usually quite significant to their way of life, that they've sought out some medical help for that. Rewarding experiences come from just being part of the community, where people recognise you still as their GP because you'll be important in their community. So they will be welcoming you, and they'll be interested in making sure that you're actually settling into their community and that you're enjoying it. And so that's a welcome on a social aspect, and it's also rewarding that you really are dealing with people through their antenatal care. You'll be helping them giving birth to their babies. Particularly if you're a GP obstetrician here, you will be delivering babies, and then you'll be dealing with all their family. You will get to know all their family probably quite quickly. So there is really complete care under your umbrella. I think when anyone is considering coming to rural New South Wales or New South Wales to work as a GP, there's a lot more support than you have any hint of when you're in another country. I personally had looked at coming to Australia to work and had tapped on the wrong resources. I had looked at immigration, where, you know, you're told that it's very difficult to come and work in Australia. You might even get points taken off you when you're applying for visa. But New South Wales and Australia is short of GPs, and the rural network of GPs in New South Wales is very supportive. They're there to give you guidance on your visas, relocation allowances, giving you information about the communities you might want to go to. And beyond that, there's divisions in all of New South Wales, and those divisions are there to support GPs, come to communities. They're there to help with postgraduate education and grants and funds. You might also feel a bit abandoned about your visa and the sponsorship, but there's actually no problems with sponsorship. The network again would help you with helping you direct you how to be sponsored, and there's also lots of support in sitting the fellowship of the Royal College of Australian GPs. Although if you have a like exam, like the membership of the GPs college in UK, that will be accounted for, and you don't need to resit exams when you come here. So it's a lot easier when you're here and you learn about all of this than what you might suspect when you're over in Britain. When I came to Australia, I met my husband, and we've now got a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, and I'm expecting our 3rd baby in 5 weeks, which is all very exciting. So on top of the dream of having medicine and challenges in medicine, you know, I've met a lot of social dreams as well. We live at the edge of town, but that allows us to live in a nice house with a large garden, where kangaroos come in the morning and at sunset, and lots of wildlife that, you know, doesn't stop thrilling me because it's all new and it's all quite exciting. Did you see the birds? What do you see?
Birdies up here.
What's the
I can see a birdie up there.
What did they do?
Birdie up there. I can see.
Our long-term goals will be to be in this community for at least 5 to 10 years. It's been really supportive to us. It had been a challenge to come to a new town, but all of these challenges have been made easy by where I'm working and the support we've had. So we would be happy to stay here for a long time.
You're heading up already. You're heading up in films.
What's the story of Ballamura today? Yes, did you? That's no good. Did you bring anyone out to do it?